While high-end Android phones offer exceptional features like the brightest screen, powerful processors, and excellent cameras, they're often very expensive. But what if I tell you there's an option that offers most of the latest features while saving you a few $100s? The Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra is one such option. The S23 Ultra has the same design as the S24 Ultra. The S23 Ultra features slightly thicker bezels and weighs a bit more than the S24 Ultra. But those aren't deal breakers. Surrounded by the bezels is the gorgeous 6.8-inch curved dynamic AMOLED 2X screen that supports variable refresh rate up to 120 Hz and has a peak brightness of 1750 nits. Even though the phone has a humongous screen, it packs in enough pixels, 500 ppi, to give it a sharp and crisp look. Protecting the screen is Corning's Gorilla Glass Victus 2, something that you'd see on several flagships released in 2024, like the Galaxy S24, OnePlus 12, and the Pixel 9. The S23 Ultra even has an IP68 dust and water resistance rating, implying that the phone can withstand submersion in up to 1.5 meters of water for 30 minutes or less. So, where do you compromise? Well, you'd have to make peace with a screen that's slightly less bright and more reflective than the S24 Ultra. In my opinion, these downgrades aren't major, and you can easily live with them for the next couple of years. Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 is still a performance beast. In 2024, most manufacturers have turned toward the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 4nm SoC for their Android flagships. In comparison, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 4nm SoC on the S23 Ultra is slightly underpowered, but it is still one of the most powerful chipsets on Android smartphones. The chipset features the Adreno 740 GPU, 680 MHz, which supports ray tracing for more realistic graphics. It does have an older modem, the Snapdragon X75G, which consumes about 20% more power than the newer Snapdragon X75G. But both modems provide a peak download speed of 10 gigabits per second. Both the S23 Ultra and the S24 Ultra feature LPDDR5X RAM and UFS 4.0 storage. So that's another standard wherein the one-year-old handset is as good as the new one. The only difference is the baseline S23 Ultra, with 256 gigabytes of storage, ships with 8 gigabytes of RAM, while the baseline S24 Ultra, with similar storage, has 12 gigabytes of RAM. Moreover, the S23 Ultra can easily handle day-to-day tasks, including but not limited to web browsing, multitasking, heavy gaming, or even video editing. So whether you're a regular or power user, the smartphone has got you covered, and not just in 2024, but for several years to come. S23 Ultra offers a quad-camera setup. This is one of the scenarios where fewer upgrades on the successor are good for buyers eyeing the older model. With the S23 Ultra, Samsung provides a 200-megapixel f1.7 primary sensor, a 10-megapixel f2.43x telephoto sensor, another 10-megapixel f4.910x telephoto sensor, and a 12-megapixel f2.22 120-degree ultra-wide sensor. This is the same quad-camera setup you get with the more expensive S24 Ultra, except a new 50-megapixel f3.45x telephoto sensor replaces the 10x sensor. Even the front camera, a 12-megapixel f2.2 sensor, is similar on both flagships. To sum up, you get 4 of the 5 sensors on the S24 Ultra, saving a couple of $100s. The cameras do an excellent job of handling high dynamic range in the scene, handling colors, lens flare, and poorly lit subjects. Both phones have the hardware prowess for recording 8K videos at up to 30 frames per second. So what's the difference? Well, the newer flagship takes slightly better photos, courtesy of a new image processor, especially in the portrait and low light mode, where the larger pixels on the S24 Ultra are able to capture more light. However, that is not to say that the S23 Ultra's cameras are a slouch. Plenty of Android upgrades to come by. with Galaxy AI. Samsung promised to provide 4 years of major operating system upgrades and an additional year of security fixes for the Galaxy S23 series. Building on that, the S23 Ultra should live long enough to get One UI 9 based on Android 17 in 2026 and another year of essential security patches. Hence, if you get the phone in 2024, it will still last you for a good 2 to 3 years. The S23 Ultra has already received the new Galaxy AI features thanks to the One UI 6.1 update. Who should purchase the Galaxy S23 Ultra? I recommend this smartphone to anyone using a 2 to 3 year old handset like the Galaxy S20, S21, Pixel 5 or Pixel 6. Keep an eye on the deals on this smartphone, especially during the 2024 holiday season, which brings some of the best discounts in the year.